Hello viewers, LS118, and it's been a long time since I've done one of these videos. This is World of Warships, isn't it? Yes. Now, it's not a replay from me. I don't play the game anymore. Not really the game for me. Bit too slow-paced, really, compared to World of Tanks, which I am, of course, used to playing. And I think Dead Man and Spill stopped playing for the same reason, to be honest. So this replay is not from them either. However, Stiggy still plays this game. And here he is. He is driving the Atago, which is the Tier 8 Japanese cruiser, apparently. Of course, the tech trees have probably changed numerous times since I last played the game. There's been loads of updates since then. And the map is called Northern Lights, I believe. The Northern Lights can be seen on this map. Over there, look. Very pretty indeed. Not as pretty as in real life, really, I don't think. It would be a real pleasure to see them in real life. Anyway, he spotted his first target off in the distance. It's an enemy cruiser. He's taking some shots. Looks like they're pretty good. Yep, some hits. 2 Citadel penetrations with his first salvo. Things are going well for Stiggy already. Morale is high right now. Goes for a second salvo. The enemy cruiser is manoeuvring, although I don't think you can avoid these. Another 6 hits, some damage caused. Returns fire, takes out the torpedo tubes and sets them on fire, but Stiggy quickly gets his damage control ability activated and puts the fire out, repairs the torpedo tubes. Returns fire, dodges most of those shots. Gets a few hits himself. Fires again. Yep, looks pretty good. No, only 1 hit. Stiggy's very good at aiming. It's one of the other problems I had. I couldn't really aim very well with the guns on World of Warships. You have to give a lot more lead than you do in World of Tanks because, of course, the maps are, several kilometers long rather than just 1 kilometer long. Another 4 Citadel penetrations. That guy cannot have a lot of health left. Surely not. We can't see the health bar because he's too far away. There we go. He's been sunk. Nearly drove into an allied ship there. That's not ideal. Puts his torpedoes on narrow spread, ready for later. First time I watched the replay, I thought he was going to torpedo the allied ship, but it's not in the nature of Stiggy to do that. Or any decent World of Warships player, to be honest. Sees this other cruiser, although I think he's at his maximum firing range and he's moving away, so the shots are not going to hit. And to be honest, it's not massively safe to fire right now with this allied cruiser in the way. So Stiggy slows down to half speed and starts turning and tries to get the guns facing the other direction, which is why he's facing this way now. He's going to come back and fire at some battleships, I think. And that cruiser's going to be covered by various islands, so it's not good to fire at him. However, this battleship is pretty out in the open. So let's have a go at firing at him. Looks pretty good. Minimal damage. Better than nothing though. More shots out. Couple of hits. We don't see whether any damage is caused, but it doesn't really matter. Decides instead that he wants to focus on this cruiser. Puts some torpedoes in the water in anticipation that that cruiser is going to run into them. Although I don't think Stiggy realises that that cruiser is actually stationary. Or at least he was. I think when we see him in a moment, he's actually reversing for some bizarre reason. Perhaps he did run into an island. I don't think he did. Shots out anyway, and the enemy cruiser is sitting there waiting, ready to return fire. Couple of Citadel hits again, and critical hits. He's taking a lot of damage from this enemy cruiser. That's not good. Another 3 Citadel penetrations. Gets himself another kill. Gets his torpedoes knocked out again. Although they're going to be up again. There we are. Sticky, you are too lucky in this game. I never got this lucky when I played it. Well, anyway, he's turning around again, and I think he's going to sail up through that passage. Yeah, he is. There's an enemy battleship. Shots out. Looks pretty accurate. Yep. Moderate damage, that's not too bad against the battleship. I think it's switching to high explosive now. Put some more shots out. The battleship, you can see the battleship returning fire, although none of the shots hit. He set them on fire. That's good. Although he has put the fire out. So really, Sticky needs to set him on fire again. I think he's only knocking out anti-aircraft guns and things. Puts torpedoes in the water, although they're not likely to hit. The battleship is going too fast. A little bit of damage. Come on. Need to set this guy on fire again. There we go, set him on fire. And we know that he can't put the fire out because he used his damage control ability fairly recently. On battleships it has about 1.5 to 2 minute reload cooldown. Yeah, knocking out more minor gun turrets. Anti-aircraft guns are blazing like hell at something. What are they firing at? Oh, it's just a single fighter. Yeah, that would have been launched by a cruiser or a battleship on the enemy team. There are no aircraft carriers in this game at all. I think he sets them on fire again, which is lovely. Switches back to the armor piercing though, because he realizes that he's going to soon have to engage this cruiser here, who is already opening fire. Fires, does a little bit of damage. Takes a bit of damage in return. Puts his damage repair ability in action. It's one of the few cruisers in the game that gets this. It's usually a battleship thing. But I seem to remember some of the the high tier cruisers had that, which is nice. And stays hidden behind this island to give time for that repair to take effect, and it has. And now he's just got to chase this enemy cruiser around the island, since he's not going to be able to fire at the other battleships because they're on the other side of another island. Although at least that means that he doesn't have to worry about getting flanked. Come on. He's quite close, he's only 4 kilometers away. And he started turning around this way as well. Although he hasn't got his guns around. He's put torpedoes in the water, but Stiggy is able to turn around. He wants to get his own torpedoes off, although he's going to be able to fire before that anyway. Starts to get a high caliber award, puts a wide spread of torpedoes in the water. He shot down an aircraft of some kind. There it goes, look. Well, that enemy cruiser knows what he's doing. He's managed to spot those torpedoes and manoeuvring to avoid them. Oh, dude, that's what happens in World of Warships sometimes. You're firing and doing absolutely no damage whatsoever, and then you get 3 citadel penetrations in one go and just sink straight away. You also got the devastating strike award for that. Switches back to the high explosive, finishes off a destroyer on very low health. Now then, there's battleships over there, and there's battleships over there. 2 on each side. There's also a cruiser and destroyer somewhere, although we haven't spotted them for a while. Decides to fire on this battleship. I apologise, by the way, if the game seems a bit laggy. I had to start recording this on 30 frames per second rather than 60. Because it just didn't work with 60 frames per second for some reason. It seemed more like 5 frames per second, not 65. 5. Which is obviously not good enough. Switches to high explosive for this battleship. He set him on fire a minute ago. He put the fire out and he's set him on fire again.
Our victory is in sight.
More shots in the air and get some hits. Not too much damage, but high explosive against a battleship is not going to do much damage. The main reason for firing high explosive at a battleship is to try and set the things on fire. And then the long-term fire damage will take effect. He wants to get his torpedoes in the water. There we go, he's launched his torpedoes. Although I think that battleship is taking fire from multiple directions. Sticky set him on fire again. I'm not sure that those torpedoes are going to be able to do any damage, because I think that battleship is going to get sunk by fire damage. And he has. And that's also the end of the game, because the team won on points. 1,000 victory points in the domination mode. That's how many you need to win. 819,263 credits earned. Of course, you can't compare that to World of Tanks, because credits in World of Warships aren't worth as much as they are in World of Tanks. It's virtually impossible to earn that many credits in World of Tanks in a single game. Ships and everything else costs a lot more in World of Warships, and so the value of the credits sort of goes down. I think that's how it works. Same with experience as well, because you got 6,141 total experience and 308 free experience. There's the high caliber and the devastating strike awards. 120 hits in total, which is nice. 1 aircraft shot down, 2 incapacitations of some kind, 4 ships sunk, 6 times set enemy ships on fire, 14 citadel penetrations. You can see that luck there. And 3 times defended the base. He also completed a couple of missions as well. I have no idea what those kind of missions are in World of Warships. I know you get equivalents in World of Tanks. I suppose they're similar to that. 2,729 base experience, which is nearly 1,000 more than the second best on Stiggie's team, and obviously way better than anyone on the enemy team. That was a very good game for Stiggie there. With armor-piercing shells, he managed to do just over 87,000 damage. With high explosive shells, just over 50,000 damage. And with fires, almost 33,500 damage. Overall, somewhere in the region of 170,000 damage caused. Which, again, you can't really compare to World of Tanks because ships have a lot more health. But even still, 170,000 damage for World of Warships standard is really good. Yeah, that was really impressive. Please do continue to send World of Warships replays, Stiggie. Not too often. I'd prefer you to send more World of Tanks replays than World of Warships replays, but I'm sure you understand that. And that's it for this video, viewers. You can probably expect to see more World of Warships videos in the future, but not very often. It's only when Stiggie sends a really good World of Warships replay that I will actually do a video on World of Warships. I doubt I'll ever get back into the game again. I might do. Who knows? Maybe one day when I've got all the tanks in World of Tanks, we're talking probably 10 years into the future yet, maybe then I'll start to play World of Warships again. Who knows? But for now, viewers, that's all from me. And in case you're wondering, I did upload a video recently advertising some games that I would show in future videos. One of them, Glory of Generals, I probably won't be showing after all. It turns out that recording Glory of Generals, which I tried to do on Wednesday, I think it was, the quality was just not good. About 20 frames per second. It's not good enough for me, really. Not anymore. And so it probably turns out that Glory Generals videos will not be happening. But oh well. There's not much I can do about that. Anyway, for now, viewers, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. And as always, good luck on that battlefield. And I will see you next time.